Kia ora, good morning. Sunday morning, day of the Sabbath. I'm sitting with the Lord. I'm sitting with my ancestors, actually. I'm surrounded by my ancestors. My mum and my dad. I know this because I had a dream where I was literally in the clouds, in golden clouds, and I was surrounded by my ancestors, all of them. All of them. Arab, Celtic, Pit, Gaul, Viking, Persian, Indigenous, all of them. And my mum and dad. And Amber, but this time she was silent. It's like she stood back. To let me have my moment with my mum and dad. My dad died in 97. 7 years after Laurie, she died in 91. Sorry, Dad died in 98. Oh, Mum died in 2005. The way Māori people grieve, it's very personal. And because I've been here in the United Kingdom, I've had my Indigenous rights removed in regards to how I grieve loss. It's not natural for me to grieve the loss of people who have died in the way that I have to being here in the United Kingdom. The way Māori people grieve is beautiful. As far as I'm concerned, it's Māori people send our loved ones off to the afterlife in the most beautiful way, better than any culture that I've ever come across. It's very deep and it's very personal, and it's full of aroha, it's full of love, it's full of heart. Even grieving, it's all about the love and the memory. And I think because I'm getting ready to leave the United Kingdom and embark on this new journey on my own, my parents and my ancestors came to me to let me know, we're in this with you, and take us with you, like take us wherever you go. We're your talisman. Stand in who you are and be proud of who you are. We created you and no one can take that from you. There's this woman on eBay who reached out to me this morning because I gave her a bit of advice, and she wants to talk to me on WhatsApp. She wants my phone number. I mean, I can't give it to her in that, but she said I was her angel, that I came to her when she needed it, and she was wanting to know if she could talk to me in private. But the thing I've learned is through my time as an ascension scientist and the science that I developed, helping people heal and ascend, I can't help people who aren't on an ascending path. Otherwise, it just ends up them relying on you every time they have a problem, and it's draining. It takes more from you than you get in return from it energetically. One of the biggest mistakes that people who think they're empathic or on an ascending path make is that they think that they're supposed to help everybody when they're not. That they're there to save the world when they're not. Everyone on an ascending path has a specific purpose, and mine is to help children. Mine is to save the lives, hearts, minds and souls of children. I've just had to go through a very difficult journey in order to achieve that goal because there's so much I've had to learn. And primarily it's about trusting the people that I have around me when I step into that new role, because I refuse to let anybody around those children who's going to do harm to them take their issues and their problems out on the children. I've had to learn a very hard lesson, as well as change how I deal with situations that arise. So my sermon today, The Perfect Storm, is how to deal with situations that come up that you don't see coming, but are there to test you on the deepest level. The parable about Jesus in the boat with the storm, and everybody in the boat's panicking and they think they're going to die, and God's not even Jesus isn't even bothered by it, because he knows that God's got it all under control. And that's what you have to remember. The thing is, if you don't have God in your life, by the time you go through your ascension, you're not ascending, because God comes to you in your darkest hour. Whether you believed in him before you were chosen for an ascension or not, he meets you in the trenches. Jesus comes and finds you in the trenches. That's when you find him. They say that even atheists find God in the trenches. It's exactly the same thing. Your darkest hour is when God reaches out his hand to you and says, take my hand. And if you don't take it, you're not ascending. You're going through a spiritual awakening, but a spiritual awakening is not an ascension. An ascension is walking through the fires of hell, dealing with every kind of betrayal, dealing with every kind of loss, including that of self, having to be humbled, having to be stripped bare, naked, raw, and trusting that God isn't going to burn you with the fire, but warm you with the Holy Spirit as he leads you out of darkness and into the light. It's the perfect storm because it purifies you. It's like burning the leeches off your body using fire. My dad had to do that. My dad had to burn leeches off his body. So it doesn't matter where the test or trial comes from. It is a test and it is a trial. And you can't testify without having a test. And every time you are tested with the trial of Job, or, walking the Christ path, it is so that when you come out the other side, you can say, I survived it because of God. I survived it because of my ancestors. I survived it because I was surrounded by the kind of light that anybody who put me through that test is never going to know while they choose to live in darkness. There is nobody on this earth who is going to put you through the trials that you are put through who knows you better than God. Do not let anyone tell you you are something you are not, that you've done things you know you haven't done, that you are the kind of person that you know you are not, just so they can feel better about how they choose to abuse you and disrespect you and try and harm you. I've had so many people try and kill me. I've had so many people try and pull me down, push me down, keep me down, drown me in emotion, abuse me from the people that I love the most to the people who have legal government authority over me, military authority over me, and I refuse to back down. Just because somebody knows you or thinks they know you doesn't give them the right to treat you the way they are if you know you're not what they say you are. They are projecting. They are taking their anger and their unhealed rage and their unhealed hearts out on you because you chose to ascend and they didn't. And through your ascension process, you are going to go through multiple upon multiple upon multiple betrayals from every level, from, the people in law who are supposed to have your back but end up turning against you to save their own asses, through to the people in government who try to throw you under the bus to protect their own careers, to siblings and children and partners and friends and all of that. Like, it's going to come from every level, every level. Neighbours, people you don't even know are going to come after you and you don't even know why. But it's all because your light irritates their demons. But it's on purpose. You have to see the darkness to know to avoid it and to step away from it. The test is, are you going to be loyal to yourself or loyal to other people because of the position they hold in your life? Because you're here for you and the lessons are yours. What are you willing to accept? What are you prepared to put up with so that you can be the best version of yourself? Because if you keep allowing yourself to be mistreated like that, you're not learning anything. You're choosing to stay in the fire. And if you stay in the fires of purification for too long, it burns. It hurts. And then you get pulled back down. So you have to get in the boat and you have to ride out the storm. All storms end eventually. After every grey, rainy cloud, the sunshine and rainbows come out. And you don't get the gold at the end of the rainbow without there being rain first. So you have to ride it out. You have to weather the storm to get to the pot of gold at the end. And for me, the pot of gold is waiting for me in Switzerland. I know that with 100% of my soul. One of the things that you have to prepare for as well when you're going through an ascension, it is a purification process. It's not, you don't just have like a shit life for a couple of years and then everything's fine and you've ascended and you're exalted in the eyes of God and you're forgiven and, purged and, you've achieved your salvation and blah, blah, blah. It's a phoenix rising. You rise, you fall, you rise, you fall, you rise, you fall. It's over and over and over again for a good couple of decades. Your life will be hard from childhood until you complete your ascension. And this last cycle with me was the hardest. The last cycle is always the hardest because the more you ascend, the people you have to let go of are closer and closer and closer to you. And so the last cycle is the ones that you never thought in a million years you would have to walk away from, because these were the people that started out fighting in your corner when you first began your process. And then you see who they really are and it cuts you in half. It's the sort of betrayal that is like they rip your heart out and eat it in front of you kind of betrayal and expect you to because either they want a reaction or because they want to see you suffer, and that's the test. This is what I was saying to the lady on eBay. How you react to stress, how you react to things that are not in your control, it's all the test. How much do you value your peace? Do you want to give in to the drama? Do you want to give them the reaction that they're wanting? Or do you want to just suck it up, take a deep breath, walk in faith, surround yourself with your ancestors and step back into your peace? Because that's the test. And one of the things that I discovered as a scientist, studying the science of the ascension process and what happens, is that when you come to the end, you're going to know that you've come to the end of a cycle. Because, and I have talked about this in videos before, where you expel goos. Goos are going to come out. Your body holds on to so much toxicity on a molecular level that when your cells shed and regenerate, it has to expel the toxicity, whether it's infections, bacterial, tears, whatever. But your body will start to expel the goos. It can be abscesses, it can be pimples. During your ascension process, it's going to be a lot of things: boils, abscesses, infections, pimples, anything to do with bacteria and viral. The goos, they will come out. I've had every type of goo over the last 20, 30 years that you could ever possibly imagine. The last one I had was when my ex stabbed me in the shoulder and I had the abscess and needed surgery. It built up the infection, and but the cleansing that came after it, the healing that came after it during my recovery, and it was the most. I mean, I've had C-sections and I've given birth to giant babies, and I've had hernias, and I've got massive meshes holding my stomach in place. But nothing was more painful than that surgery. Because I'm allergic to everything, I couldn't have painkillers or antibiotics. And they had to keep changing the ribbon every day to drain all the pus and stuff out. And now I have like this big scar on my shoulder and a big divot in my shoulder because my ex-husband stabbed me with a heroin needle that he found in the back alley by his house. He stabbed my cat as well. He sacrificed my cat Ghibli, my familiar. We both got sick at the same time. But Ghibli, his lump was on his head and mine was on my shoulder, but unfortunately he didn't survive. He took what was meant for me. He sacrificed himself to save me. So even my younger son had his sleep paralysis demon came and showed him what the hooded figures did to the cat. And my son Thomas and I didn't have the heart to tell him that we truly believed that Chris killed my cat on purpose, that because he was my familiar. But the thing is that when you expel these goos, transformation happens. When I was recovering from my surgery, I started working on my talismanic jewelry because I couldn't move my arm, like my arm, my shoulder and that. It was like a 3-month recovery. It was a really long recovery because I had to let my body heal naturally because I couldn't have any kind of medication or pain relief. So I spent that time working on my jewelry and working on my oils and on my products. And the Alchemist Cavern came about as a result. I started working on my dating app, Spellbound, and all of that. So it's like you have to expel the goos as part of your cleansing healing process. I'm currently dealing with snot. I've got a lot of snot and a little bit of congestion, like in my throat and that, because I was taking in a lot of toxicity around me, that within my body, that needed to come out. I've changed my diet once again. You know, what I put into my body, I've removed some things to replace with others. You know, since the whole poison apple incident, that's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the aftermath of the poison apple. You'll be surprised at how low people will stoop to try and stop you from shining. And that's the test. Are you going to sit and wallow in the quagmire and be pulled back down like quicksand because that's what they want? Or are you going to get back up, brush it all off, hold your head up high and keep walking, because that's what God asked you to do. That's what your ancestors need you to do. Because you're breaking karmic cycles, you're breaking ancestral curses. They chose you out of all the people in your bloodlines. They chose you to be the one to fix what was broken. And remember that dream that I had where I was in like Atlantis and I was under the water and I had to walk between those two statues? It's all that. Last night, or this morning, the dream I had, being surrounded by all my ancestors. They were dressed in all kind of era of clothing. They were dressed in everything from grass skirts with spears in their hand, right through to, you know, dressed like pharaohs and knights, Celts, Picts, all Vikings, all dressed in all kind of eras, all kind of skin colours, and they were all proud of me, letting me know this isn't on you, so don't carry it. Don't take responsibility for things that you know you're not supposed to take the blame for. Don't let people blame you for things. Don't let people accuse you of things. Don't let people try and smear your reputation or slander your name or set you up or betray you for their own gratification, because it's popular, because it's funny, because it's cool, because it's a trend, because of whatever. Don't fall for it. Know your value. By the time you get to a certain level of your ascension, your armor becomes very, very thick. But the last trial is always the hardest, but it's the perfect storm, because when you come out the end of it, what is waiting is the pot of gold. And for me, the pot of gold is Switzerland. For me, the pot of gold has been with the love of my life and getting to live the life of my dreams, even if it means I have to do it on my own. Now I'm expelling the goos. My body is these mushroom vitamins that I'm taking, they're doing something to my body, because since I started taking them, I I think I may be having a mild allergic reaction to one of the mushrooms, but in the process, it's bringing all the goo out. And I did some research into some of the mushrooms and the vitamins that I'm taking, and one of them does create this stuff, but it says like just to keep taking it, as long as I don't have like like a, what do you call it, like tingling sensation in my mouth or anything like that, just keep taking it, because my body's it's clearing everything out. One of these mushrooms, one of the things they do is it like it gathers up all the toxins and expels them. And so this is what it's doing. It's all the goos that are coming out that have been sitting, because I'm noticing, like, as I'm bringing it all up and out, because it's only been since I started taking the mushrooms. As I'm bringing it all up and out, my sense of smell's better, getting better. My sense of taste is improving. I can, like, when I breathe, it's like my lungs are feeling clear. It's getting clearer and clearer. And I've been doing some, is it Qigong? Qigong? Chinese energy work. You know, clearing blockages in my body, doing certain hand cupping movements and all of that sort of thing, and it's bringing it all up and out. And it's working. And now the last bit is letting go of the emotional side of it, letting go of having to hold on to the fact that my ex-husband pulled me away from saying, when my mother was dying, I flew home. My friend lent me some money to fly home to see my mum, and then my ex called me back after 2 weeks because he said he couldn't afford to keep me there any longer. My money got stolen and we couldn't afford it, and I had to say goodbye to my mother while she was still alive, knowing that I was never going to see her alive again. And he put me through that. He was punishing me. And he's also the reason why Amber and I stopped talking, to punish me, because he's the sort of man who, when he punishes you, he removes the things from you. He punishes you in a way where he knows it's going to cut the deepest. But I'm never, ever, ever going to let him win. Ever. He is never, ever going to beat me. He's never, ever going to get the better of me, because I'm way out of his league. I'm so high vibrational now that when I look down upon him, it is with pity, because he's about to lose everything. He's about to lose everything in a way where he will never, ever be able to recover from it, because by the time people know my name, they're going to know his too. He will never be able to get a job. No one will rent a house to him. Just like what's happening with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, people are distancing themselves. All the people that put me through this are now starting to face God for their consequences. And I'm just being told, like in my wolf dream, just keep walking. Turn your back. Don't listen to the fight. Don't listen to the arguments. Don't listen. Just keep walking. Walk across the meadow. Go to your Prince Charming waiting under the grandmother tree on the other side. Just keep walking. Follow the cello brick road. And that, that's the thing. All I keep hearing is cello music. I was playing the music yesterday and I haven't listened to it in a few hours, and yet it's still playing in my head, because it's reminding me of the pot of gold waiting at the end of that rainbow. I just have to cross this last storm. I just have to weather this last storm. You have to weather the storms. Let yourself have a cry. If you have no one, sit in your room, have the cry, but don't sit in it for too long. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. Because the longer you sit in it, the more they win. And you cannot let the devils and demons that are sent to test you and try you win, because that's the test. The Judas test is the hardest test you will ever have to face when you're going through an ascension, because it's coming from the people who out of everyone in the world is supposed to have your back but don't. They're the ones that stab you. King Charles will know this. This is one of the reasons why I put it all out there, because I knew what was coming for King Charles, and he's my twin. He's, Scorpio rat. So I've been trying to show him what to do when his time came. When he was going to wake up and realise that nobody had his family's back. None of his friends, even members of his own family, none of his business acquaintances, none of his staff, none of his servants, no one in his government, no one in Parliament, no one was going to have his back. And so this is what you do, King Charles, this is what you do. Because you get to a certain point in your ascension where you are seen as a leader, and you are expected by God and your ancestors to raise people up and get them off the ground when they fall, and say to them, take my hand, I'm going to lead you out of the tunnel of darkness and into the light. And so, King Charles, this is what you need to do. You need to get yourself up. You need to stand up. You need to put on your armour. You need to brush it off. You need to have faith in God and say, I know who I am, and you're not going to get the better of me. And you need to stand and defend yourself. And he needs to do it publicly. Don't hold on to, like I say, if you want to say a swear, eat a pear. Pears are the totem of, all the toxic things. Pears are like the totem of the amuse bush. It's a palate cleanser in a way that it gets everything that you're holding on to that you want to say out in a way that is constructive, not destructive. So he needs to eat a pear, and then he needs to stand up for himself publicly. He needs to defend himself against Keir Starmer and the media and everybody who is doing their damnedest to make sure that when they knock him off his throne, he doesn't get back up. And God just simply will not allow that to happen. So like with the lady on eBay, I'm showing her how to stand back up. When you hold on to other people's negative reflection, you're carrying their cross. And their cross is not for you to carry. Their cross is for them to carry. You carry your own cross. You are not the punching bag. You are not the sponge. You are not there to hold on to other people's toxicity and the work that they refuse to do on themselves. They can blame you for anything and everything. They can turn their back on you and say the most dishonest, hurtful things about you, about your work, about your ancestry, about your bloodline, about your family, about your kids, your partner, your job, whatever. But that's on them. That's not on you. If you've done the work on yourself, and you know that you're a good person and that you're not what they say you are, you haven't done the things they've said you've done, if they're refusing to see you in a positive light, that's on them, that's not on you. That's their cross to bear. They are a load that you are being asked to lighten yourself from, even if it hurts, because otherwise it's holding you down and holding you back, and God needs you for bigger, better things. You are not going to get to the pot of gold at the end of that rainbow if you refuse to row the boat. When you're in a riptide, and I know about riptides. I'm from New Zealand. I grew up swimming in the oceans, and when I was a kid, I was watching my nieces and nephews getting dragged out by a riptide while my brothers and sisters were getting drunk on the beach playing cricket on Boxing Day. And I literally, at the age of 13, had to run into the ocean and save Petinu, Tui, Sean, Kieran, and 5 of my nieces and nephews because they were being pulled into the riptide. So I know about riptides. I was screaming for my brothers and sisters to help, but they were drunk. And they were playing cricket and, Christmas and yada blah. Because in New Zealand it's summertime at Christmas and it gets bloody hot. And so I had to go swim into the ocean to save my nieces and nephews. By myself. 5 of them. By myself. So I'm used to it. I'm used to having to swim riptides by myself, but with riptides, you can't fight it. You can't swim against the tide. You can only relax and let it take you out. And that's what I did. I was telling them to just relax and stop fighting it until it pulled them out far enough that I was able to swim to them and pick them up and push them out over the waves, and saved them. And then I went and I absolutely ripped the shit out of my family, my brothers and sisters. It's the first time I ever stood up to my siblings. I'm the baby. I have no authority. I'm the lowest in the food chain. And I went absolutely ballistic because they were so busy drinking and playing cricket that they didn't notice that their kids were drowning in the ocean. But I always watch the kids. My whole life, wherever there's kids about, I watch them because I'm their guardian. It's my responsibility as a female. It's my responsibility as a woman to keep an eye on the children, even if they're not my own. And I remember when I was just so angry because I'd nearly lost 5 of my most precious gems, because my nieces and nephews were like my everything when I was a kid. They were, when Amber was born, she was the reason I knew I wanted to be a mum. And I thought they were going to kick my ass. But they didn't. They were all like, hey, what? Oh, no, oh, So I'm the sort of person that when I used to go out drinking with my girlfriends and that, my friends that are girls, it didn't matter how drunk I got. As soon as there was any kind of situation where a man was hanging around or there was any sort of sense of danger in that, I would sober up immediately and take charge. I'm one of these people that I thrive under pressure. The best comes out of me when I'm put through the hardest tests and trials, which is why I was born to be a leader, to lead people out of their dark nights of the soul. When you're around someone who knows how to uplift you and pull you up off the ground again, these people have been sent into your life to save you at a time where you can't see the wood for the trees, where you can't see the door in the round room because you're blinded by the darkness that you're choosing to sit in. But it's not hard to get yourself out of the darkness if you just allow yourself to find the positive in every negative. When you find the positive in every negative, it turns the negative into a positive. That's a physics thing. I'm talking about ion particles. That's just a... Sorry. So you won't see it while you're going through it, but when you come out the other side, you're going to be like, oh, so that's why that happened. Just remember that every test you go through is God saying, and your ancestors saying, your council of elders saying, how much do you want what it is that you're asking for? Are you prepared to walk through the storm? Are you prepared to walk through the fire? Are you prepared to weather the storm? Just like Job, just like Jesus, just like Daniel, just like David, just like Solomon. Are you prepared to go through all of that to get what you want? Because remember, Solomon got the Midas touch. Solomon and Midas as well. Like Solomon ended up like the most supernatural being in history. The things that he was able to do because, he did what was asked of him was nothing short of mind-blowing. And it's 100% real. Scientifically, it's all 100% real because I've proven it. So if they did it, Daniel got thrown to the lions and they didn't touch him. So what are you prepared to do to get what it is you're asking for? And what is it I'm asking for? Other than justice and all of that, I'm asking to build a school where I get to save children, save the creative minds of children so that they can go on and become inspirations to their generation for generations to come. And at the age of 53, have another baby, have my daughter, so I can pass on everything that I know to her, so I can hand my wand over to her, so to speak. Her first wand will be a wooden spoon. Your first wand when you're a girl is always a wooden spoon because you're taught alchemy in the kitchen as a child through, learning how to cook. So, but the Bible is full of women having kids in their 70s, 90s, even like in their hundreds. So I'm not bothered. Just don't fight it. If you can't control it, don't fight it. Don't question it. Just accept that this is part of the test, and how you choose to deal with it is going to decide the results at the end. And if you stand in your morals and you stand in your ethics and your integrity and your honor and your truth, you have nothing to fear when you come out the other side. What's waiting for you on the other side is all going to be based on how you dealt with it walking through it. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off and keep walking. Just let it all bounce off you. Don't hold on to it. Have your cry. Have your couple of days of curling up in a bed eating, well, I was going to say eating chocolate, but unless it's my sugarless chocolate, eat fruit. Eat apples, because eat nice sweet apples, or dates, because they give the same pleasure response in your brain as eating chocolate does. But unless you're eating my chocolate that doesn't have sugar in it, don't eat chocolate, because chocolate causes depression. So when I get my products out there, then you can stuff your face. But yeah, if you're craving something sweet, have apple juice that's concentrated with nothing else. It's just straight apple juice, just straight juice from the apples and nothing else. No other ingredients. It'll say on the carton, apple juice from concentrate. That's fine. Eat dates, raisins, sultanas, or apples. They'll give your brain the same response as eating chocolate. It releases serotonin in a natural way, gives you that dopamine high that you get when you eat a nice piece of chocolate. So what you put into your body is just as important as what comes out. And these goos that come out, it's part of the purification process, and you will have all different kinds of goos coming out. It won't. I don't think I've had the same kind of goo coming out at the end of an ascension. It's always a different goo every time. Just let the goo come out. But every day I wake up now and like my lungs feel amazing. I haven't been able to smell and taste with this kind of strength in years and years and years. Because when you detoxify and you cleanse yourself, it's on a molecular level. All the phages in your body start taking over and becoming all the best cells in your body, and everything else just gets lifted up and out and removed from your body. So don't fight it. But don't let anyone tell you that they're ascending or have ascended or are on an ascension if they haven't found God, because He's the one that agrees for your ancestors to choose you to be the one to pay off all the karmic cycles and karmic debt. Many are called, few are chosen, because very few people actually finish the ascension process. When it gets too hard, they give up. And so that's why He keeps testing you. What are you prepared to do in order to get what it is you're asking for? Are you going to give up? Are you going to fall back down? Or are you going to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep walking and weather the storm? And the answer is, you weather the storm. Because what you get at the end of it, you will not regret a single loss or a single hit that you took. Your scars turn into medals of honour. Trust me. People are starting to call me an angel, which is funny because I think I'm an arsehole, but other people see me differently. But, yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. I'm at that, you go through a stage in your ascension where it just all comes out. It just all has to be released. You have to release it. People can say whatever they want about you while you're releasing it, but your emotions are your they're like your emotions have been put there as part of, what am I trying to say? They're your valves for releasing overflows, things that you're holding on to. When you release the valve, you let the overflow out. It's not healthy to hold on to things that are hurting you or that you're overthinking. It's not healthy to hold on to toxicity. It's not healthy to hold on to these things. It builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up until eventually the dam bursts. So you have to release the valve and let it all out. Otherwise, it ends up being things like you'll find that like the slightest thing will trigger you losing your temper, or you'll fly into a rage, or you'll fall into a deep depression, or you become like an emotional wreck, and you can't shut it off, that sort of thing. So allow yourself to go through that process because you're grieving. You're grieving a lot of losses in your life, and you need to find a healthy way to get it out. Through with me, it's my writing. I just focus on my writing my stories and my books and my movies, because my journey is going to be turned into an empire that shows children how to deal with the same thing, so that when they become adults, they've already done the work and they don't have to go through anything that we adults who are going to be their mentors had to go through. We suffer so that they won't have to. I've suffered so that they won't have to. Because when you're walking the Christ path, Jesus died for our sins. Well, we heal for our sins. Our sins are forgiven. We heal for our sins so that we can save children from being hurt from theirs. So you have to do the work. And at the end of it, I'm never going to have to worry about money again. I'm going to end up with the man who loves me so much that he wants nothing more than to spend the rest of his life with me, by my side, loud and proud, battling every enemy, weathering every storm, because he believes in what I do so much that all he sees is me as his future. And we get buried together under my walnut tree at my homestead that I'm going to build when I get to Switzerland. That's what's waiting for me. I'm never going to have to worry about money again. I'm never going to have to worry about anyone trying to come up against me, because I'm going to have people who understand and support the work that I do, because they understand the importance of making sure that we're in a world where we won't have leaders sending our kids off to war, forcing them to inject toxins into their bodies, deciding whether they have the right to live or die or not, forcing them to have IDs just to go on the internet. Like, the people that I'm going to be working, the people that I'm weathering the storm to get to, are the people who are going to be helping me make sure that the children of tomorrow actually have a tomorrow. Because we did the work. That's what's waiting for me. So anything that's happened to me and anything I've gone through is inconsequential in comparison to what it is I'm going to achieve at the end of it, for the children who won't have had people like me showing them what to do otherwise. So it's not about me. What I'm going through isn't about me. Your ascension process at the end of the day, when all is said and done, isn't about you by the end of it. It's not about you. It's about what you're here to do. And for me, I'm here to save the hearts and the minds of the most neglected, abused, abandoned, disrespected, silenced voices on the planet. The kids that are called crazy, the kids that are forced to medicate, the kids that are forced into institutions, the kids that are given therapists and council workers and, school counsellors, and they're ostracised and ridiculed and laughed at and bullied and told that they're freaks and dorks and weirdos and that they should kill themselves, that they're not worthy of anything, like that beautiful little boy Jess. It's for kids like Jess that I'm doing it for. It's for kids like my boys have got a friend, Brooklyn. It's for kids like her. It's for kids like Miller, the ones who have pure hearts. Miller is the sort of kid, I swear to God, he could be president of the United States one day. He's an amazing kid. There's just something really special about that kid, that he's enigmatic in a way that if he just had the right guidance, he could absolutely be the president of the United States in a way where he would actually be loved. And yeah, he's been treated like crap. He's seen some things, school shootings. He's an incredible son, very loyal to his mum. You know, like he's everything that America would deserve in a president. Very resilient. Yeah, so it's for kids like them. They need me. These kids at my school that we're going to be gathering from all four corners of the globe, they need me. They need me to show them how to survive what it was I was put through, what their mentors were put through. If, you know, writers, artists, musicians, programmers, engineers, designers, whatever, we've all been put through the same thing. We're all going to know what they're going through. But we're going to be their master makers. And we're going to raise them up every time they fall. Because we didn't have anyone but God doing it for us, or Allah, or whoever you believe your creator is, your ancestors, the universe, your spirit guides. This isn't religious. I mean, not I, the people that I employ probably aren't going to be people who went through ascensions themselves. So they're not going to have the same religious beliefs. But I'm the leader. I'm the trailblazer. So I had to have the ascension. But the people that I bring in, my 144,000, won't necessarily have gone through ascensions. They may be still in the process of ascending, but they're people with good hearts, with a high moral standing, with ethics and integrity in a way where they know that they need to be a part of this process of creating a whole new world for these children, so that these children have a better future than what we're looking at presently and what we ourselves came from. So we're going to show them how to survive by creating a better world for them to live in. And nothing's going to stop me. And no one's going to stop me. I know what's waiting for me at the end of the rainbow. Iris of the rainbow. Goddess Iris. So don't let it get you down. Pick yourself up. Dust yourself off and keep walking. Just keep walking. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Swimming, 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 swimming. Just keep swimming. You won't regret it in the end, I promise. What is forged in you by the time you get to the end will be unrecognisable from who you were at the start of it, but you won't regret it, I promise. You become untouchable. Water off a duck's back. The armour that God puts on you at the end of all of this is impenetrable. So I'm going to go. And I'll speak to you later. Hold your head up high and know that you are loved. Ka kite anō. Mwah.